What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a ton to talk about in today's episode. The markets had a nice rally to the upside today. We're going to be going over Netflix earnings, some important news, and some awesome plays for the rest of the week. At the end of today's video, we have a $10.5 million options trade that expires this Friday, so make sure you stick around for that. But Tom, let's get right into today's episode.
Yeah, the markets really roared back today as it seems like the dip is being bought right back up, and we were seeing sharp drops out of tech and the S&P 500 both yesterday. But today was much better, and almost every stock turned itself back around to the upside. We saw Microsoft, Apple, just about every tech stock flying back up. Even the growth stocks, for the large part, were going back up as well. Investing.com reports that the sell-off on Monday was largely attributed to fears that a resurgence in COVID-19 infections would stall the recovery. However, other analysts have suggested the sell-off was likely driven by investor positioning, and the United States 10-year yield rose 1.2% after dropping to 1.14% earlier in the session, providing a much-needed boost to financials, mostly bank stocks, following Monday's sell-off. And I think that the bank stocks had a pretty big deal with the market going up today. And ever since open, we just saw Bank of America, JP Morgan, and Goldman all come roaring right back.
For sure. And we saw a lot of stocks pop back up today. Like you said, Tom, a lot of growth stocks popped up like Square, Redfin, Penn, DraftKings, Apple, and a lot of other ones. And then Nvidia had their stock split today. How's that one looking?
Yeah, it's actually largely unchanged. There was almost no movement today. It did go up and down very slightly, but we can see it's actually split adjusted now all the way down here to 186.12 at the close today. I know that that's going to look a lot more appetizing to a lot of retail investors rather than seeing it all the way up there at $700 or $800 per share. So hopefully it really helps them get a lot more investors. And I think Nvidia will still do great for the longer term. But, historically, Tesla and Apple both fell after their splits. Nvidia fell heading into the split. So it's kind of interesting to see what's going to happen here. But overall today, there wasn't too much action out of it. It was largely flat.
All right. And then, Tom, what's going on with Netflix? This thing is going crazy in after hours. We see that it did have earnings today. It closed right around 530, ran all the way down to 496, and now it's basically right back up to 530.
Man, this was a very volatile earnings. And guys, this is why we don't play earnings. I'm guessing both the calls and the puts, at least as of right now, are probably going to get destroyed tomorrow. This was a humongous volatile move, like you said, Mike, all the way down to that 496 low, and then came right back up on a bad EPS report. They actually had good revenue and not as many subscribers as they wanted. The EPS ended up being 2.97 versus a 3.16 expected. So that's a little bit of the reason why it ended up tanking off at the beginning. The revenue was 7.34 billion versus 7.32 billion expected. So they did beat on that. But a big problem is that the expected global paid net subscriber additions, which is pretty much just showing how many subscribers they added, were only 1.54 million versus 1.75 million expected, and they actually lost on that. So that to me is going to be the main reason why they're down here. But overall, very volatile after hours, and unless this stock continues to fall back down, like I said, even the puts are probably going to get destroyed.
For sure. So let's not forget that Netflix announced that they're going to add like a gaming division type thing to their platform, and it's going to be free for all existing members. There's going to be no additional costs or anything like that. And I think that's just a great addition for Netflix. They're adapting, and they're also providing more value to their customers, which in my opinion is awesome to see. And they're actually seeking like guidance from a lot of you could say like industry, like veterans when it comes to gaming and stuff like that. So either way, I think it's good news. Netflix is a solid company, and even though they didn't report like amazing earnings, I think that they have some pretty good things going for them.
Yeah, and that gaming news should be really good. There's a lot of companies out right now that involve gaming, like which is Unity. They're doing pretty well over the past couple of years, especially right now. They're bouncing right off support. EA's been a good company. ATVI, Activision, has been doing very well also. So the gaming industry itself is just killing it. CRSR is another gaming stock that's done well. And overall, that industry is just going to explode. And I know me and you were talking about this a little earlier, Mike, but that would be really cool if like Netflix was somehow able to develop like a AAA game title or something that would obviously make a bunch of people subscribe to Netflix just so they could start playing that game.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what their finished product looks like. But Tom, let's get right into these momentum plays in our member of the day. First, we're going to cover our member of the day, which is Alex Trader. He had a pretty awesome post in the Profits channel today. He made almost under $1,000. He said, new subscriber to the stat modeling program. Been a rough couple weeks trading options in this crazy market and trying to learn how to day trade with the bots, but slow and steady progress to recovery. My solid profits with this week's target put swing and DraftKings bot plays. Still learning. So awesome job, Alex. Great job with DraftKings and Target. Thanks so much for the awesome comment and keep up the hard work. But Tom, let's get right into these momentum plays. With the first one, we have Square to the upside.
Yep, and with Square, go ahead and make them break right above 247.70 tomorrow, which was the high of today, and that's actually a pretty good resistance.
All right, with the next one, we have NIO.
NIO, go ahead and make this one break to the upside as well. Lots of stocks were up today. Go ahead and make NIO break up above 44.50.
All right, and with the last one, we have Boeing.
Boeing, I'm really bullish on Boeing for the next couple of years. Hopefully they can break up above the 217.50 level tomorrow. If they break that in pre-market, then make them break above 220.
Sounds great. So we are watching these 3 plays for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they can break above the levels Tom listed. But now let's get right into the $10.5 million options trade for this Friday. We are looking at the MRNA 350 strike calls that expire this Friday, July 23rd. This stock is going crazy, and I am extremely confident that the smart money is shorting these call options because they are like $45 out of the money in their weekly calls, and the implied volatility on MRNA is sky high, and the stock has just been exploding, and it looks overbought. So I really would not be surprised if we did see MRNA pull back a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. This was honestly getting really far overextended. There was a ton of volume that came in today. One of the more voluminous days that Moderna has actually ever had, but I really like to see it come down like this. It was getting really far overextended. We were talking about it in yesterday's videos and even in the stream this morning, and I'm really glad to see it kind of pull back like this. I know I would really assume that they're shorting these 350 calls. If they were longing those, then they definitely know something's going on. But with everything that we're seeing right now, with the big pullback today and that solid resistance up there around 350, they have to be shorting these.
For sure. And another thing to keep in mind with this one is that they are being added to the S&P 500, which is good news, but it's not good news for the short term. Statistically speaking, when stocks are added to the S&P 500, they normally pull back a decent amount in the following months after they are added. And we kind of saw the same thing with Tesla. So just keep that in mind. I'm kind of eyeing MRNA for maybe like a put debit spread or something like that. But either way, it's just on my radar.
Yeah, definitely. And Moderna, keep in mind that there's a lot of that stuff going on with the Delta variant news and everything that might have helped push Moderna up in the short term. But if something comes out to where maybe, it's not as destructive as we thought or something, it could obviously make Moderna go down. So just keep in mind that COVID news might have been pushing it up in the short term also.
All right, and then let's get right into the questions from the previous episode. With the first comment, we have Dennis asking about SNOW. So this one had a pretty good day, and it's not looking bad at all. I'm kind of eyeing this one for a dip buy.
Yeah, I really like it. I think it could start to do well in the longer term. A lot of people have been talking about Snowflake over the past few months, and it was really popular like about a year ago whenever it was really running up in like October, November, and then it just kind of fell off the table with all those growth stocks. But honestly, I really like how it's holding this like 250 support, and I think it looks really solid.
All right, with the next comment, we have Peter saying, please, please, please take a look at NOK. It's going to be a fire 5G play. It also has a very low short float. and the call options volume is insane from October to January. So let's take a look, Tom. NOK, I know a lot of people in the Discord have fundamentally researched this company and are very bullish on it. I have not done like a deep dive fundamental analysis like a lot of other people in the Discord, but their technicals are starting to look pretty good, and I really hope this one pops because I know a lot of people are holding it.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a huge resistance up there right around $6 that we were hitting a week or two ago. And it just failed to break out above that. But I would say if we could break six, I would definitely turn bullish on this stock. And I've loved it since it broke above that $5 support. And I think that if we can kind of hold $5, even if we go down in the shorter term, as long as we hold $5, I think it'll be solid in over the next like 6 months to a year.
And then if it could break that $6 resistance, that would be awesome for the short term.
Yeah, I think that if it broke that, you have a super safe run up possibility up to $6.50, almost $7, but even higher than that, possibly for the longer term. But in the short term, I think you could get a really, really safe 50-cent pop out of that.
All right, with the next comment, we have Darius saying, do you still like Clove? Thanks. So, yes, I think it looks like a pretty solid setup, and the risk reward ratio is pretty awesome, in my opinion.
Yeah, it really is. And there's a lot of room back to the upside here. I'm really glad to see it kind of hold that $8 level today. It did fall a little bit lower, down to like 795, maybe like 790 area, but overall it really held right around that support. And I really like it for the next couple days. And I would say if it could break out tomorrow above $8.50, we'll see a pretty decent little run.
All right, and then we have Alex saying, Mike, do you think a wait of 2 weeks is enough before buying Nvidia? Love that stock, but try to hit a good entry point. So it's hard to say because Nvidia is such a volatile stock. I really like them for the long term, but it's hard to just say 2 weeks will be enough. There's so many variables and so many things that can happen, both with Nvidia, but also the market overall. So I will just be watching it. And 2 weeks should be enough, like if you really, really want to hold it for the long term. But there's just so many variables in this situation where it's hard to say for sure.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Obviously it's like hard to call the bottom, hard to call the top. So I would just start averaging in if you really, really like them. And lots of people are still bullish on them for the next few years. So I don't think that they're going to go anywhere. Like they're not going to crash and burn by any means. So I think you'll be all right as far as that goes. But in the shorter term, like Mike said, anything can happen. Something weird could happen with China that could just hurt like hurt production or anything like that.
For sure. So, guys, if you want to trade with the bot, Tom and myself, every single day, definitely check out that first link in the description down below. The bot calls out daily swing trades, day trades. We have a ton of custom bots. We have a ton of custom tools and a great trading community, especially if you're an options trader. The day trading bot today called out DraftKings call options around $115 each, and they ran all the way above $152 each. So definitely check it out. It's that first link in the description down below, and you can cancel at any time. But Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, news, or anything you're watching for tomorrow?
Man, I'm still really watching those bank stocks. I'm actually really watching for them to turn around. They had a great day today, really drove the markets back up, and I think that they could have some really good potential for the next few days, especially the bigger ones like Bank of America, JP Morgan, and Goldman Sachs. I could really see those ones kind of continuing their run ups for tomorrow, especially with all these other stocks kind of going up with them. But the yields moved well today for the banks also. So it just seems like they're setting up to move pretty well, at least in the shorter term. That doesn't mean that they're going to go up or down for sure, but it definitely looks like they could start to break out.
For sure. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you like the videos, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. Comments really help us grow our channel. So if you have a question or you like the show, we would really appreciate it if you could leave a comment. It really helps us out. And then also come join Tom and I live every single day at the markets open on the Stocked Up Live YouTube channel. The link for that is in the description down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.